Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Unstoppable. I'm Maria, the girl who still forgets half her English whenever she gets too excited.
And I'm John, the guy who keeps reminding her that excitement is actually a good sign.
You always say that. But come on, tell them the truth, you only join these sessions for my coffee.
Guilty. But to be fair, your coffee is stronger than most people's motivation.
Okay. Before we turn this into a coffee commercial, let's tell everyone what today's episode is about.
Today we're talking about something so many people dream of. Speaking English naturally. Not perfectly, not like a textbook, but with flow, with ease, and with confidence.
You know, John, I used to think fluent people were just born with some kind of secret English power. But then I realized it's all about small daily habits.
Simple things anyone can practice, as long as they stay consistent for 21 days.
So today, we're sharing 7 habits that helped me and can help you speak English confidently and calmly.
No pressure, no perfection, just real habits that work naturally.
All right then, ready to begin?
Always. Let's make these 21 days unforgettable. All right, let's start with the first habit. Listening. Most people try to speak English before they ever learn how to hear it properly.
That's true. I used to focus only on grammar and vocabulary. But when someone spoke fast, it sounded like music I couldn't understand.
Exactly. That's because your brain learns a language the same way it learned your first one. By listening. Think about it. When you were a kid, you didn't read grammar books to learn your mother tongue. You listened. To your parents. To people around you. And slowly your brain started understanding patterns.
So listening is like the foundation. Before speaking, right?
Yes. If your ears can't catch English naturally, your mouth won't speak it easily. So here's the habit. For the next 21 days, spend at least 30 minutes a day listening to English. Watch a movie, a YouTube video, a podcast, anything you actually enjoy.
And subtitles are okay, right? Because I still need them sometimes.
Of course, use subtitles in English. They help your brain connect the sound with the words. Slowly you'll start understanding phrases without even reading.
I like that. It feels less like studying, though, and more like enjoying the language.
Exactly. The more you hear English, the more your brain will recognize it as something familiar, not foreign.
So step 1, listen every day. But not just hear, actually feel the rhythm and flow of English.
Perfectly said, Maria. That's how fluency begins. Not with pressure, but with awareness.
Okay, now I'm curious. What's habit number 2?
Patience, my friend. Habit 2 is all about speaking without fear. So is habit number 2. Speak without fear. You know, Maria, most people understand English perfectly well. They just freeze when it's time to actually speak.
Oh, I've been there. I remember thinking in English so fluently in my mind, but the moment I opened my mouth, everything disappeared.
It happens to everyone. The truth is, fear is the biggest block, not grammar or vocabulary. We worry too much about making mistakes, about sounding wrong, and that fear keeps our voice silent.
So how do we break that silence, John?
By giving yourself permission to sound imperfect. For the next 21 days, speak English every day, even if it's just to yourself. Describe what you see around you. Say, I can see my desk. There's a book on my chair. I'm drinking tea. Simple lines, but powerful practice.
That's actually fun. It's like turning your room into a small English world.
Exactly. The more you speak, the faster your brain gets comfortable with the sound of your own voice in English. And remember, confidence doesn't come after you become fluent. It comes because you speak, even when you're not fluent yet.
Wow, that's deep. So it's not about perfection, it's about permission.
I love that line. Yes, permission to speak freely, make mistakes, and still smile through it.
Then habit 2 for me starts today. Luna might get tired of hearing me talk to myself though.
Poor Luna, but I'm sure she'll understand. After all, she's been hearing fluent meow her whole life.
True. Okay, that was good. So what's next, Mr. Mentor?
Next, we move to habit 3 tiers. One that involves your eyes, your voice, and your brain all working together.
Okay, John, you said habit 3 needs my eyes, voice, and brain together. That sounds serious.
It's not serious. It's powerful. This habit is called shadow practice. It means repeating exactly what you hear, at the same time as you hear it.
Wait, like copying someone's speech in real time?
Exactly. Pick a short English video or podcast, play one sentence and speak along, matching their tone, speed, and rhythm. It's like your mouth and brain start dancing to the same beat as native speakers.
Dancing? I like that. But won't I sound funny if someone hears me doing that?
Oh, definitely. But that's the point. You're training your muscles. Every language has its own rhythm and sound pattern. Shadowing helps you feel the language, not just understand it.
So it's like training your mouth to move in English mode?
Exactly. Your pronunciation, fluency, and confidence all improve naturally. Start small, just 5 minutes a day. Pick a speaker you like, pause, repeat, then try it without looking.
I can already imagine doing that with my favorite TED Talks.
Perfect. And don't worry about being perfect. Even if you miss a few words, keep going. The goal is rhythm, not accuracy.
Got it. So first I listen, then I speak, and now I shadow. It's like building layers of fluency.
Exactly. You're not just learning English. You're feeling it from inside out.
That sounds beautiful, John. All right, what's habit number 4?
This one's special. It's about transforming the way you think, because fluency begins in your mind before it reaches your mouth. All right, habit number 4. Think in English. This one is quiet, but it changes everything.
Think in English? I've heard people say that before, but how do you even start thinking in another language?
Good question. You don't force it, you invite it. Start small. When you look at something, name it in English. When you feel something, describe it in English, even in your thoughts.
Like if I see a flower, I say in my mind, it's beautiful instead of ye khubsurat hai?
Exactly. It's not about translation. It's about transformation. Every time you think in English, your brain rewires itself a little more. Soon, the voice inside your head starts speaking English naturally.
That actually feels peaceful. It's like letting English become part of who you are, not something you perform.
That's beautiful, Maria. Because true fluency isn't about speaking fast. It's about feeling free when you speak. When your thoughts shift to English, confidence follows automatically.
I remember when I first tried this. I used to feel shy even in my own mind. But over time, it started to feel like a new part of me was waking up.
Yes, that's the moment every learner waits for, when English stops being a language and starts becoming a voice.
That's powerful. So habit 4 isn't just practice, it's a mindset.
Exactly. You change your thoughts, and your words will follow.
Okay, I love that one. Now I'm ready for habit 5. I have a feeling it's something active again.
You know me too well. All right, habit number 5. Live in English. This is where we stop calling English a subject and start treating it like a lifestyle.
Sounds interesting. So you mean I should make English a part of my daily life, right?
Exactly. If you want to speak English fluently, you have to live in English, even if you never leave your country. Change the little things. Set your phone language to English, follow English-speaking creators, write your to-do list in English.
Okay. So even my grocery list should be in English now?
Why not? You'll be surprised how much it helps. Every small exposure adds up. If you read in English, think in English, and hear English, your brain starts believing that English is your natural environment.
That makes sense. When I was watching English shows daily, I started picking up phrases without even realizing it.
Exactly. That's what immersion does. It removes the study mode and creates living mode. You stop memorizing English and start absorbing it.
So it's like creating a little English world around you, even if it's just through your phone, books, or music.
Perfectly said. That's why I call this the silent teacher. The world around you can teach you English, if you let it.
I love that. Okay, so far we've listened, spoken, shadowed, thought, and now we're living in English. This is starting to feel like a transformation journey.
It is one. And the next habit, habit 6, takes that transformation one step further. It's about reflection. Because growth only happens when you notice your progress. All right, Maria. Habit number 6, reflect and review. This one isn't about learning something new. It's about noticing what you've already learned.
Interesting. So it's more about self-awareness?
Exactly. Every few days, take a moment to review what you did, what went well and where you struggled. Write it down in a small notebook or even on your phone. Ask yourself, did I speak more confidently today? Or which words did I learn this week?
Harip, that actually sounds peaceful. Most people, including me, keep focusing on what we can't do yet, not on how much we've already improved.
That's the problem. We see our mistakes louder than our progress. But when you reflect, you start realizing that fluency isn't one big jump. It's hundreds of small steps.
That's so true. When I look back, I can't believe how nervous I used to be just saying a few sentences. And now we're literally hosting a podcast in English.
Exactly. That's progress you might have missed if you didn't look back. Reflection builds confidence. It reminds you that you are improving, even on quiet days.
So habit 6 is like giving yourself credit for every small victory.
Perfectly said, Maria. Learning a language isn't a race, it's a journey. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can say to yourself is, I'm doing better than yesterday.
That's beautiful, John. I think I'll start writing a small English journal and just to remind myself that I'm growing.
That's the spirit. Because when you celebrate progress, you invite even more of it.
Okay, we've reached habit 6. I can't wait to hear the final one. Is habit 7 like the grand finale?
Oh yes, it's the most important one. Habit 7 is about the heart of it all. Consistency. The quiet power that turns practice into fluency. And here we are, habit number 7. The one that ties everything together. Consistency.
I knew it. It always comes down to that one word, doesn't it?
It really does. You can have the best methods, the best teachers, even the best motivation. But without consistency, everything fades away.
That's true. Even I've noticed that when I practice for a few days and then stop, it feels like starting all over again.
Exactly. Fluency isn't built in a week. It's built in moments that repeat. 5 minutes a day is better than 5 hours once a month.
So it's not about intensities, it's about staying present.
Yes, because every time you show up, even for a few minutes, your brain learns one powerful truth. You're serious about this.
That's deep. And it kind of takes the pressure off too. Like I don't have to be perfect, I just have to keep showing up.
That's it. Success in anything, English, life, dreams, comes from showing up even on the quiet days.
You know, John, I think that's what speak unstoppable really means. Not speaking perfectly, but speaking bravely again and again.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Maria. Consistency doesn't just teach you English. It teaches you who you are.
So it's it to everyone listening. If you've made it this far, you already have what it takes. Start today.